And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of the Overwatch League APAC edition. I'm Achilles, here with Avril. We'll be guiding you through our two matches tonight. Kicking things off, we're going to have the Chengdu Hunters going up against the Hangzhou Spark. And between these two teams, seems like it's a bit of a battle to be in third place.
And Hangzhou Spark didn't have the greatest start to this stage as well, currently 0-2. Chengdu Hunters at least had a little bit of a return to form. You know, they kind of started out very poorly versus Seoul Dynasty, extremely poorly, I might add, but, reasonable bounce back by getting a win onto Philly. So a 1-1 start for them. All is not lost yet, and we're in a fresh stage as well where previous points don't matter. So qualification into tournament number 3 is still completely in the open, even for a team like Hangzhou Spark that are 0-2. Still plenty of opportunities to bounce back.
Yeah, and luckily, in quotations for the side of the Hangzhou Spark, they've gotten their toughest opponents out of the way up front. From here, it should be a bit of an easier ride for them moving forward, and if they can get to the Chengdu Hunters, then they should pretty much firmly be confirmed in that third place spot unless Fusion can make a run back, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, having suffered their early losses, I think that Spark fans, they can breathe a little bit more easily, especially when we take a look at the starting rosters in just a little moment, but here's where everything stands for now. Dynasty still way out in front.
And it's Valiant in charge, kind of battling it out to see who can escape relegation. By relegation, I mean they don't get to make the playoffs, so escape elimination would actually be the accurate term here. Number 7 is eliminated from playoffs contention entirely. Top 3 we go into playoffs. The third, or rather 4, 5, and 6 go into play-ins. This is for end-of-year stuff. Top 4 from this tournament go into tournament number 3 for Summer Showdown. So these are the overall season standings, the overall points. Seoul, Shanghai, they're fine. Ton of points there, 15-13. Seoul have won an event. Shanghai equal in scoreline in terms of 11-3 record. Hangzhou Spark, not the best start again for them in stage 3 here, but their points-wise still 11. They're still well and truly above everybody else. Fusion trying to catch up there. Hunters trying to keep themselves safe and make sure they are out of striking distance from being overtaken themselves.
Yeah, it just always feels odd to see Guangzhou Charge only, so far, the 2 wins that they've been able to pick up be against the Valiant, who have then been competitive against many, many other teams in the region right now. But Charge just haven't quite been able to get that extra win yet. But we'll see if they can manage it later on throughout the weekend. But here is the starting 5 for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. And yeah, it's not going to be anything too surprising.
Same as what we've seen so far. Again, not a lot of roster depth here. You've seen a little bit of Daisy come up versus the Seoul Dynasty. Didn't really help them at all. Opening 0-3 loss to the Seoul Dynasty, was a painful one. They only got the 1 point on Ilios. Everything else was a complete write-off, especially that Dorado, but a major bounce back at 3-0 then versus the Philadelphia Fusion. So it's been 3-0s no matter which way you look at it so far for the Chengdu Hunters, where it's them getting 0-3 or them getting the 3-0. And versus Philly, it looked great. Leave had a couple different heroes shown there as well. Gaga looking much more comfortable on that Junker Queen, and Jimu, the Genji, as expected, performing admirably.
That he has been, but as we take a look at the starting lineup for the side of the Hangzhou Spark, we'll see that he will have a formidable opponent to go up against.
There he is.
Alpha Yi is back. He is broken out of his quarantine jail, and he is ready to play. Question is, does his re-arrival fix the issues that we've been seeing from the side of the Hangzhou Spark? Because it really has just been Shy getting focus fired down time and time again. Worth noting, Gushui starting.
Oh, he's been focus fired down again. Shy's missing at the moment.
Oh,
I'm sure he'll be back.
It's just like every team fight.
But Gushui is going to be playing, though, so it's a bit of a different look for the Spark, because we haven't seen Gushui in this meta yet. In fact, he wasn't even really here for a lot of the games in Mid-Season Madness either. Yeah. Berna has been the starting tank for the Hangzhou Spark for most of the season now. We saw 1 game from Liga before he was let go from the roster. We've seen a few games from Gushui, but I would guess like 70 to 80% plus of the matches have been Berna. Gushui is not likely to be playing anything other than the Junker Queen, so they have made a bit of a swap here in a very critical position, and I do wonder, is Gushui going to be the better Junker Queen to be playing for the Spark? Because Berna was okay. I don't know about your opinion on this, but Berna seemed to be holding his own against Seoul and Shanghai despite losing.
I'd say that Bernard's looked kind of fantastic for the most part, given, how much flexibility he's shown, his proficiency of just slotting into the Junker Queen role. I think individually he has looked quite good on that new meta pick. So It is a bit of a question mark here to see, how this is going to look. Maybe this is also, depending on what map we start with, which we'll see the map set in just a little bit, maybe this is the Hangzhou Spark taking a leaf out of Chengdu's book and saying, you know what, for the first control map, we're not going to play Junker Queen. We're going to be playing something completely different. We'll have to just wait and see.
I personally would doubt it. I think there's some level where maybe Garg and Gushue just, gentlemen's agreements. Like, you want to just play ball for this one. We'll just both agree not to play Junker Queen just for fun. But I think if you do want to win, you are going to play Junker Queen. You talked about map set. Nepal is going to be the first map on board. Get to see a bit of Hollywood. Have we done Hollywood yet? I think we might have.
We have.
We have. I think we got that one Hollywood.
We had two Hollywoods, I think, on the last Friday.
A couple now, right?
Yeah.
I have a bad memory. It is what it is. But there's not going to be...
Mine's not much better.
But you do have that. Righty. First match of the week. Second week here in the Eastern Division. I think the return of Alfie to the roster is, again, the most important thing to note, though. Architect held his own. He was good. But Alfie has been their starter. He's been phenomenal. He's been one of the best Genjis we've had in the league this entire year. And that should make a huge difference to the team.
I'll have to just wait and see. I think the biggest thing that we were criticizing, regarding Architect was, ult-wise in those fights with ults. He was playing absolutely phenomenally, but the neutral left a little bit more to be desired. Alpha Yi should be able to shore up some of those weaknesses that we were witnessing, but for now, it's really all eyes on Gushue to see how he's going to be faring in this matchup. First axe slash not going to connect. Alfie and Irony already dead, so Chengdu Hunters, they kick things off with a bang. Gushue running back as quickly as he possibly can to try to escape. Shy now in the corner, going to get picked off, only manages to find a single elimination for himself and for the team in this fight. They're going to have to reset and go again as the point gets locked down by the Hunters.
It's nice of Shy to tax away at least one member there, but it will be a pretty comfortable opening fight win for the Hunters. Nice early cap as well, and it seems like Hunters have basically hit the ground running off the back of their win last week. It seems like they have not slowed down since beating the Philadelphia Fusion into neutral number 2 now. Again, obviously not waiting for any ultimates just yet. Jumu, though, is heavily ahead. Has to stay alive, though.
That he is. Yeah, 55% already built up. Alfie, he has only gained like 9% since he came back into this. Now, though, with Gaga taken down at the front line, there's a lot more breathing room. So now can look to push forward, try to get a flip going on to this point, and also just continue to farm up more of the blade. We'll see how he fares. Jinmu's been spotted around the back. They go ahead and ping him out. They're going to stay wary of it. See if Jinmu can find his way back into the fight, but now Leva's going to be taken down as well. So it's going to be a second member lost. Shine finds Monk. Cleanup is going to be coming through, and that should be the flip here for the side of the Spark. So not as fast as they would have liked, but still not too bad. 42% set up here for the Hunters.
And in some ways, Hunters win and lose there. They win in the sense that they get to extend this lead on the control point by 42%, but on the other hand as well, they kind of self-stagger a lot there. It's a very slow reset. One of the best things you can do as Hunters is if you lose Gaga, you're either just going to hard into the other team and go for trades and maybe bring it back around, or you should probably think about a reset yourself so you can get back into action as 5 again. But on the other hand, like I sort of mentioned, 42 is a decent lead to play through, and you still have that blade. Super Rich does have the sound barrier to counter now, though.
Okay, beat available is there. Super Rich goes ahead, drops that one as soon as the blade comes out from Jinmu. Commanding Shout's going to be burned across both sides. That extra healing there. Gushue will be the first one to fall. Alfie and Shy both getting tagged down very low, and Irony's going to try to commit to the fight and keep them in this one with the rally rolling. Right now it looks like Alfie, not receiving nearly enough healing to try to stay alive. Shy as well, being tagged lower and lower. Will manage to make it out alive. The overclock nearly available for him, but the flip is there right as they tie it.
It's a really good game, though. I mean, Hangzhou Spark at the 42, so like you said, tying the scoreline on the point itself, but Hunters off the back of a blade. Extra sound barrier connected by Nisha that is able to match up against Super Rich, and then killing Gushue made a lot of sense. Yeah, Jimu's the first fallen.
Yep, now Nisha going to be taken out as well. Really great start here. Just completely circumnavigating this overclock, making sure that Leave is unable to find too much value. Gushue will go down to the back end, but with Monk falling, that should be the point needing to be surrendered, especially with Gaga now dead. And yeah, it will be a fairly fast flip back into their favor here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Can they hold it is the question. Rampages can make all the difference.
So much of Shy's performance here so far, and we'll check in on how he's doing at the end of this map and maybe even at the end of this round, but he has a lot more space to play through when Alpha Yi is in the mix as well, taking a bit of that aggro, being far more threatening on the Genji than a player like Architect, and forcing a lot more tension from the Hunters. So Shy's able to be unlocked. He seems a lot more well protected here. He's not had the greatest time jumping on top of him. Here comes Alpha Yi now.
The Rampage cuts across, managing to punch him, but Alpha Yi with the blade finds first blood in the fight. Looks for another one, trying to get on top of Nisha, but just cannot do it. Now he's getting tagged lower and lower. They will be able to pursue in to get that kill in the end. It will just be an extended trade on the Genjis, but for now the point's still going to be held. The Rampage still there for the side of the Hangzhou Spark.
time's running out here. Lee, brilliant sniper to Shy. Gooshray, you got to pull the trigger. It is a 4v5 situation, but I don't know if you want to give this point up as the Spark just yet. It do seem like they're backing out, but it could just be a rotation. You have to heal Super Rich up before they make that decision. And his counter cap flipped over by the Hunters, so indeed Spark don't want to take any chances. Waiting for the full 5v5 engagement. Hunters are freshly out of ultimates. And you mentioned the Rampage. That is the only thing on board for either team.
All right, Gooshway, can he connect it? Super Rich as well. Should have a beat available as long as he does not die or Ajax the ult. Should be able to win this one out. They need to pilot this very cautiously. They're working their way forward. The swing around here from Gooshway. Trying to come around the flank, and Alfie already going to be taken down. Jinmu gets on top of him now. They have to commit into the fight. It's going to be a massive Rampage. Does manage to connect onto 3, but the kills are not there because Alfie's in the fight. They don't touch the point. They're trying to wrap back around the side. They had the beat and everything, but they just don't get there in time.
And I don't think they got booped. From my perspective, it didn't look like they got booped, so it was just purely a timing thing. They just didn't step on. You know? It wouldn't be Overwatch 2, it wouldn't be Overwatch League if we didn't have one of those moments. I was going to say maybe we get a replay of that, but we'll take a look at some of the Shy snipes instead. That was that fight where they just got rid of Jinmu off the bat. I was staring at the percentage markers at Achilles because in my mind, I don't know about you, but I had this inkling, I had this spidey sense that like I feel like they might not touch. As I see the 99 come up and I'm seeing that it's not contested, I'm like, yeah, I think they're about to see 9. And then they do. They actually do.
See, at this point, I have just kind of accepted that I don't expect them to touch the point anymore. And when they do, it's a pleasant surprise. But when it doesn't happen, I'm no longer disappointed or, you know, like just grossly upset. Anyway, we have a Pharah change-up coming through from Jinmu, which does make sense, given his proficiency on the pick. And he is just absolutely pounding right now. They do lose leave. At the cost of irony, though, so the healing going to be cut down significantly. Jinmu getting jumped on. They're trying to keep him alive. He's trying to retreat, but no, Alfie will manage to find him in the end. It was good damage to start with, especially when he had everybody corralled into the side room, but it seems like the Spark should be able to persevere in the initial fight.
That's a really huge kill as well, because I was going to suggest maybe if Alfie dies, he goes to Echo here, but after killing Jinmu and capping the point, it is much more difficult for Jinmu to get success off the Pharah on a retake than already having the space to work with, so it's going to be Hunters falling back. They didn't lose that many members. I don't think they mostly got out with their lives. Now it's about the long spam damage. Jinmu trying to work his way in with the rockets.
Slaring in over top of the building. Dragon Blade not going to connect there. Gaga just rushing down and trying to get on top of Gooshway here. He's going to pop that commanding shot. Jinmu going to be taken out again. Has he decided to swap? We'll have to wait and see. But I would think it's probably a good idea at this point.
What?
You got what?
It's
33, 34% on the first volley, and that's about it? Yeah, he's going to swap.
Yeah, I think it's like I said, it's reasonable because it's hard to retake as far. It's much better when you control the point, you control all the points of ingress, and you know, Chengdu Hunters, they get to kind of camp these chokes as Hangzhou Spark trying to make their way through. They get spammed by rockets, right? But retaking as a far is just so much more difficult. So.
Okay, Blade pulled, everybody corralled up here into the side room, but moving forward into that would definitely be like entering the meat grinder for Alpha. So he does think better of it, puts in a little bit of damage, and then has to back away. Blade now going to be sheathed, and on the counter fight, coming through with the rally rolling. This Chengdu Hunters should be able to win out. 2 quick kills coming through. Alpha going to be joining them. As Gaga manages to slash him, and that will be the flip, and the Chengdu Hunters gaining control of the point, but 71% is established for the Sparks. If they could regain control, they're in a really good spot to close this out.
Unfortunately, Spark did get to use through their ultimates in that last fight as well, but still in a comfortable position, like you said, 71. It's more than enough. And Gaga is at least well and truly kept in line with Gooshway despite having lost the last couple of fights, being 71% behind in the control percentage as well. Alpha just immediately executes Jinmu, so that's the 5v4 that Spark can just give an easy cap off.
That's what they were looking for. Happens rather quickly. The dash in, commanding shout. Green HP onto everybody. 3, ults nearly 4, still held here for the side of the Spark as the flip just naturally comes over to them. Everybody from the Chengdu Hunters just pulling away from the control point. Have to give it up. Gaga going to be taken down. Leave this bench to find Shy in the meantime. No, it's going to be enough. Is it the overclock? But now he's going to get cut down to size. Gooshway getting on top. Finds the second elimination. He's trying to stay alive, but he cannot do so. Monk does take him down. Rally rolling however from Irony, trying to keep the rest of the team in the fight. The Blade at arm's length. A nice boot back there from Super Rich. Makes sure that Jinmu cannot find that much value with the ult. Wait, the flip is still not there for the side of the Hunters. They need to gain control of this or contest it here rather soon as they continue to tick up. Is there a touch? Yes, there is.
Should be Rampage. touch has to come on through now, and as everybody's at the point, this is the perfect time to rampage. Both teams thinking about it. Kushrei still holding on.
Going lower and lower. The axe comes through. They will find him, but Jinmu cuts down Shy. The overclock going to be cut short. The flip still just a moment away. Jinmu going to be dead here in a moment as he gets ready to try to fight against Alfie, but now he dashes back in. The blade's now going to be sheathed, and suddenly they might be able to turn this one around against him, but Alfie cuts through, gets a little bit of green HP upon the re-arrival. Great shout from Kushrei. They keep him alive, and now the Hangzhou Spark may just be able to flip this right back into the favorite. It looks like they're going to.
And just in time as well, you see Irony coming with the heals. Alfie on 13 HP. Saved by the commanding shout, but they will not. They, being Chengdu Hunters here, will not get another opportunity to touch in Hangzhou Spark. Clean up the second round, and look, if it wasn't for the fact that they didn't touch on the first round of Shrine, maybe it could have been a 2-0, but we are going to a decider here on Sanctum. Hangzhou Spark a lot more comfortable in any case on the second round than the first.
Certainly seems that way. Bit of chaos there on the back end. The Spark do manage to go ahead, keep themselves in this one now with an opportunity to close out the map despite the little snafu that we saw on the first round. See how they fare now to move into Sanctum, whether or not they can close this out. Jinmu's still looking like he's going to stick with the Pharah.
Yeah, this Pharah is an interesting one here because obviously limited in terms of the aerial space, at the same time. Still some decent angles that you can work through. We actually saw Jinmu play this amount of Pharah here last year. That was quite hard to deal with. But Pharah didn't go quite too well for them on Village. I don't suspect it will go amazingly here as well. If Jinmu loses or dies or Chengdu loses a fight, he's going to have to go Genji almost immediately.
See if that happens. Irony going to be first blood. Leave with a nice little rail shot. Manages to take him down. Jinmu into the corner. Alfie gets on top of him. They do find that elimination, trying to even things up. But the Chengdu Hunter's going to be trading up once more with the HP bar so very low. They will be able to close this one out. Super Ritual send Monk off the side of the map there. Just for a cheeky little boop kill at the back end, but it is going to be the Hunters who get control of the point first and foremost.
But they need to set up a spawn camping situation if they can. By spawn camping, I'm just being control the chokes. We're basically back into another full neutral where the Hangzhou Spark have escaped already. You can see that they're in the open. What Jinmu wants to set up here is a position where they can just get major damage through chokes. So to do that, they actually need to win a fight cleanly.
Okay. Well, what little skybox he does have, he's using to the fullest effect. Finds a nice opening kill, taking down the enemy Genji. That's going to be further delaying Alfie from getting that blade online. To lose Gaga. So crucially, a great answering pick there for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Rejoin will be coming through here momentarily, but now the Chengdu Hunters just poking and prodding, just trying to keep those HP bars low, so it's a little bit more difficult for the Spark to really commit to a take on the point.
I was going to say, they haven't touched the point yet, and while that's happening, Hunters enjoying the free cap percentage they do have to now actually do a contest. It's giving Jinmu time to spam, get that rocket barrage up, snipe on a Super Rich, but he won't die.
Will not. There's going to be the barrage. Everybody is quite far away. Still will find one. Super Rich dying moments before. That's going to be the supports now out of the fight. Alfie only going to be good for one. The cleanup will come through onto the rest of the squad as Shy just slides his way down into the pit looking for the faster reset. So nothing to be found here for the side of the Spark. 62% now locked in for the Hunters.
A little bit upsetting that Jinmu does die because he's the most important member to try and hold the Spark inside this opening lobby with the Mega Health Pack. It should be coming in very shortly. Jinmu does go for the barrage though, so notably if you go for the barrage, you have very high risk of dying. Go 1-for-1 for barrage, probably required there. They're pushing really deep, wow.
Yep, they're just going for the aggro fight. They've got the rally, they got the beat. Super Rich matches with one of his own. Now the rally on the back end's there from Irony, but can he survive? Fell low, still under a bit of duress. Seems like he is going to be able to stay alive and actually takes down Monk in the meantime. The blade slashing away, not going to find the eliminations right off the rip, but as Jinmu gets grounded, he's low on HP, and you can see Alfie just praying that one of these right clicks will hit him, and he finally does. Gets the kill, Nisha goes down at 98%. The flip will be there for the side of the Spark, but can they hold it all the way to 100 to close out the map?
It just seemed like such a weird decision by Chengdu to go that aggro when you don't have a Genji on a Pharah instead, having to fly through that lobby. It's quite risky, you know. Part of the strength of the Pharah is just abusing chokes and abusing the line of sight, and you can do that very comfortably by just, you know, camping the exits of the lobby. Now they have to re-push in, and as I've explained in the previous round, very hard to go for a retake as far as Jinmu goes back over towards the Genji. Resets his ultimate at least a little bit here. Long road Hangzhou Spark to catch up. Oh, Leave with a snipe on a Shy.
Instantly shuts down Shy. Doesn't let him use his own overclock. Now they need to try to deal with Leave. Everybody just really trying to stay alive. Super Rich narrowly managing to dip around the corner, but with this many casualties, Jinmu cleaning up too. The flip coming through, and at 98%, the Hunters look very poised to be able to take the ball. Somebody's got to touch right here, right now. There's the OT. Sorry, started at 98, so it automatically comes in. Super Rich tries to go for the touch. It's a great whip shot. Monk denies it. No overtime attempt here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Chengdu Hunters will go ahead and take the first map.
Yeah, and I think well played, especially onto Sanctum. A very interesting ending to Shrine, and that will be the one that the Hangzhou Spark is going to stick out a little bit and maybe be a little bit of a sore point for them as well. Who really knows what would happen if they managed to get that touch towards the end? Like we sort of mentioned, they have the ultimates, they have the sound barrier by Super Rich as well. Village looking much better for them. The Fire not quite working well as well in Village, which you'd actually expect maybe the Village should be the better Fire map, and yet that was the one that Hunters actually struggled on. You get to Sanctum, the opening fights go the Hunters' way. They got a lot of free percentage points, 98% they managed to get up to. One very aggro move did punish them, but not enough to take them out of the game.
Well, neck and neck between the two squads, and like you said, a sore point, something that's going to be haunting the Hangzhou Spark that first round, especially if they cannot turn this series around. We're going to be going to Hollywood next for our hybrid map. We'll see if they can level the playing field, make it a 1-for-1. If the Chengdu Hunters are going to look for yet another 3-0. We'll see what happens when we come back, so don't go anywhere. And we are back, getting ready to go into our second map here in the first series of the evening. Chengdu Hunters managed to take Nepal 2-1. Hangzhou Spark now need to answer back. Hey, I just want to kind of gauge your thoughts on this. Guxue, Junker Queen, not bad, not bad.
Held the zone more than comfortably. Right now, it doesn't seem like a downgrade. I don't know if it seems like an upgrade yet. It definitely does seem like it's serving them comfortably and comfortably well. So if you turn off nameplates, I wouldn't currently be able to tell you the difference between Burnout and Guxue, which is probably a good thing given that you at least want at minimum a side grade here. But maybe throughout the rest of the series, we see Guxue continually leveling up and giving Hangzhou Spark the extra boost they need, because I think the return of Alpha Yi is already putting in numbers. Looking at his stats across the board, he ended with the highest amount of final blows on 12 and 30% of team damage on 11k as well. So just doing God's work on that Genji as you'd expect for Alpha Yi. And Shy also, as I mentioned, partway through that map as well, seems like he's not under the same amount of pressure as he normally is versus other opponents.
Yeah, I think he definitely had a bit more breathing room. We saw that with a lot of the kills that he was able to get at the start of the fights, but Chengdu Hunters just a few too many more of them. Now we'll go into Hollywood and see how the Spark fare, whether or not they can find some stability on Hybrid and try to even this up, make it a 1-for-1, give us a series. Something that we always love to see. 3-0s out, 3-2s in. I got a good long break ahead of me after today, so I'm happy for this to just,
soak it in,
go for a good long while, because I want to get my fix. Try to hold on
Friday,
for
bring it back.
A couple weeks. 5-map Friday, let's do it. And if we can get the 5-map Friday in the second series, then oh boy, am I excited.
It is Valiant, If anybody's going to get to 5 maps, you can trust that Valiant will make it there. Sadly, you can also trust that they usually don't win those map 5s, but they will take you to map 5. This series, though, so far, Chengdu are the 3-map team. And actually, so far, Hangzhou are the 3-map team as well. Both of these two squads have only had 3-0 or 0-3 results in the opening week. And as Chengdu Hunters do lead here, we'll see which side of that we fall on, if at all. Hoping that this will go to at least 4. Opening snipe, not going to get any value there. We're going to come through on the standard compositions. No Pharah here, as Jim will be sticking to the Genji.
There he will. Makes his way up here to contest the high ground. Pushing Alpha Yi out of position for now. See what happens. Quite a bit of damage there on a good but Shy already. Yeah, great rail shot. Takes down Leave, and well, after that, Gaga just left out to dry as the rest of the team tries to exit. The supports corralled in the corner. It looks like they will be able to make their way out of here, or at least they'll stand their ground, and the Hangzhou Spark don't want to over-pursue.
I can confirm that Shy currently has 100% rail accuracy, so stop the count. We can just pause the game and end the end.
He's a madman!
Boom. End it. End it. But he does kill Leave straight off the cuff, 49% to 24 as well, so an early lead for the Hangzhou Spark via Shy's ult percentage. We'll see if Shy can keep up some good rail headshots or just rail hit accuracy as we move through the rest of this A defense. 1 minute 10 already gone. Shouts expended.
Shouts on both sides. 100% charge up here for the rail. Sends it out. Not going to get the connection he's looking for. And even if he did, it was on the Guxue, so it wouldn't have really resulted in too much. Shy and Alpha Yi, however, getting tagged quite low. They're taking the fight very aggressively. Shouts again coming through. HP bar is still low, but Monk getting taken down. Alpha Yi manages to get on top of the enemy brick. He's out of the fight now. Gaga dead as well, and that's going to be the Chengdu Hunters having to reset once more, barring a miraculous turnaround. Leave will find a little parting gift of a kill onto Alpha Yi, but that is about it. That's all that can be spoken for the Hunters here on this second volley. That's going to be half the time bank now taken away.
And Hunters actually managed to reach the point. This time they got deeper onto the same point that they were previously. Shy to be very careful here under pressure. We talked about him being a prime target for other teams that Hangzhou Spark has played against, but today, better time. Ultimate's all available now. Spark heavily in the lead. Oh my god, the shutdown.
Chengdu just instantly loses the blade. They absolutely destroy him. Spark, they got the script. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They say, okay, Jinmu's probably got blade. Kill him. They did. What a beautiful execution.
I mean, we talk about Shy, keeping up the accuracy. Yep, well, that's one way to do it. Just destroy Jinmu instantly on approach. Welcome back, Shy. Last week was a bit of a rough one, but this is the Shy and the Alpha that we've learned to love.
Gaga already getting pressured out the slide around the corner. Shy takes him out with the overclock. He's looking for a bit more. Has been moved away from the rest of his squad. And Monk has to try to pull back away, and Shy's looking to go on the offensive and does survive for a hell of a lot longer than it looked like he was going to. Have 12 HP for a while. Leaf, however, does fine too, so have the spark. Yeah, have they overcommitted? Looks like the answer is going to be yes. Can everybody get out of this position? No. Gushway going to be cut down. They should be able to rejoin, maybe have some delay tactics here on the point for a final fight. The Rampage going to be available to rally there for Irony. Alfie manages to find Leaf. That's a crucial pickoff, but he gives his life for it.
There's too many players dead. I mean, you need Gushway here. He's got the Rampage nearly available as well, but 2 ticks gone. If you're going to touch, it has to be now.
Yep,
Spark are going to give it up, and it just comes down to the overcommitment. Look, is it great to see Shy slide on in, just delete Gushway? Great. Everything up until that point was fine, but afterwards, Shy getting booped deeper into spawn, chasing down Monk, and another great whip shot from Monk sends Shy flying backwards. They clean up that member, then Hangzhou Spark. The rest of them, the other 4, are still very deep in Chengdu territory, and they get punished, they get killed. Chengdu snowball those frags into continual 5v4 advantages with respawn advantage, and they get the cap. I think Spark could have done better by not going that deep into spawn.
Yeah, bit of an overstay. Great punish from the side of the Chengdu Hunters, and Spark, again, they'll be kicking themselves, depending on the result of this map. That could be another moment to really haunt them. Rampage out from Gushway, does find 3. Nisha's got the sound barrier, however, trying to get them healthy. Irony now going to be popping that rally. Answering Rampage, finds 3 as well. Are nobody dying. Poking and prodding the cart. Going to steadily start inching through as the Spark try to pull back. Another blade out from Jinmu. Does get the shout, and just stay alive for a hell of a lot longer than he might have, or he might have thought he was going to. And gets himself in behind Shy. He's trying to get rid of this enemy Sojourn. So far hasn't been able to make it happen. They pursue forward. Shy, he's still in the fight. Now Alfie has a blade of his own, and they managed to turn it around with a team kill. That was looking so great for the side of the Hunters for a while, but eventually, again, just a bit of an overcommitment. They cannot get their focus fire through on a Shy, and they get turned around on.
Chengdu couldn't get with it. They didn't focus fire Shy, I think is a bit better issue. We saw from Jinmu's POV, he was going for Shy, but no one else was. So, you know, if anything, I think the firing was a little bit too scattered there. They all went for different targets. The fact that Shy kills Gaga mid-pressure from Jinmu, then turns around and snipes Jinmu as well right afterwards, I mean, speaks to Shy's caliber, but also speaks to just how messy that was from the Hunters. They just couldn't lock down a target. Jinmu couldn't get the blade going because he got booped. Shy kills Leaf at the start, now it's a 5v4.
Yep, and they're just going to go for the aggressive fight once more. Shy moving up. I mean, he's got the overclock ready, but just hold that for another fight. Irony just going to be swinging away with that flail. Finds 2. Jinmu, the last one to get dropped, and now a minute remaining. The cart about halfway through the street's phase. Can they get to B, get that extra little bump up? Right now, the ult economy is not good.
It's the ult economy and the lack of map control for the Hunters, and also the lack of payload movement. You'll notice the payload is kind of just the midway mark. You would ideally love to have this quite a bit further down, because that opens up the map, right? The further the payload is pushed, the more map that you can have under your belt. Because we're playing junk queen compositions, you have to play on these sort of elevators. You have to fight for high ground, because otherwise Spark can drop down on top of you anytime they want. And how do you go for players like Shy, who can just camp the high ground?
Jinmu getting tagged low, drops down, grabs the Mega Pack. Super Rich.
Time.
Beat at the ready. Support ultimates available for both teams now. As Irony gets the rally up. Jinmu falling lower and lower. Overclock going to be popped from Shy to start things off. They look to go ahead and close out this map. They'll slide backward. The sound barrier comes in. Rampage connects on the 2, but lead. Crucially, gets the rail shot across. Shy now out of the fight. 4v5s, they look to fight back. Jinmu with a blade pull. They lose out on Monks.
Can't get kills.
It's going to be evened up a little bit more. The kills not being found for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Gaga will finally manage to find one more as Irony will go down, leaving just Super Rich now to try to keep them all healed up. The cart moving away. The Spark somehow ending up on the opposite side of the map here, playing from the attacker's perspective. They dive back in, try to keep this locked in place, wait for the teammates to go ahead and rejoin, and as Shy does, he manages to tag down Nisha. Great little rail shot in the back. They find the kill. The blade is pulled. The overtime bleeds away. The cart will be locked in position just in front of the bank.
It seems like the best thing that happened there was, I think Leaf did get a kill into Shy, but aside from that, the Hangzhou Spark didn't really go down at all. Another failed blade from Jinmu. Seems like he got booped again, so credit to Irony and Super Rich for just being great at disrupting Jinmu's gameplay. It's been so difficult for Jinmu to find value on this Genji, and really nothing to do with the Genji. I don't think he'd do better on the Fire here, considering how accurate Shy's been, but the supports have just been able to really both protect Shy and get rid of Jinmu. Here's that shutdown snipe again, just so good from Shy, and fast as well. Accurate. He's leading the way in terms of damage and frags is just, you know, the Shy that we've been waiting to see in this meta, in this third stage, is finally coming alive now that they're A, not playing against either Seoul or Shanghai, and B, have the starting lineup that they actually want to play.
I mean, even then, you know, for everything that we've been saying about how Shy has just been getting punished over and over again by those teams, by Shanghai, by Seoul, it's when he was alive, he was still finding an immense amount of impact, and in fights that Hangzhou Spark were winning, he was very much a part of that, coming up with these rail shots. So individually, he has still been very impressive. Hangzhou Spark just weren't really able to keep him alive and play well together. It seems like the cohesion without Alpha E there in the starting 5 was just a bit affected. Right now, it's looking a hell of a lot cleaner. Is it perfect? No, not by any means, because you know there's still some boneheaded calls being made, chasing way too far forward, giving up that first cap where this could have just been a full hold. But that can be worked on.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is, I think, an easier fix. I'd be more concerned if they just weren't able to have the output, like, oh man, Shine Alpha just aren't hitting shots anymore. But you know, like macro calls like, hey, let's just chill out a bit and not go that deep. That's a very easy fix in my book. So things that I think the Hangzhou Spark can be reasonably okay with. This is going to be a bit of a poor start though. They do lose Shy.
Well, is the first one to fall. Good opening kill here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters, but can they get anything else out here on the back end? Hell of a lot of damage there on Agaga as he tries to pull back away, but with Super Rich falling, that should be the fight one here for the Hunters. Look for just a little bit more, and they will get Gushue to boot, so it's going to be some late staggers coming in now.
And maybe on the Alpha as well. Yeah, he struggled to get on out. These guys maybe thought he was a little bit more
Hunters.
safe. Hunters now have to be careful because they are doing the same thing that Spark were doing earlier, and as it happens, Shy snipes on Nisha. With that, you have to get on out. Jinmu's probably next to fall here. Doesn't have a dash blade, trying to slowly get healed up.
I mean, that's your quick
Hunters,
exit.
if they lose more, they're in trouble. The pullback of the Gaga could be deadly, but I think with the shout available, they manage to sneak on out.
A Jinmu solo dashes away, doesn't narrowly manage to stay alive. They can't get that punish. If they had, it would be a great window of opportunity here for the side of the Spark, but now they're going to have to fish once more for another pick. See how they fare. Right now, the support ults very much getting ready to come online for the side of the Hunters. That's going to be a big boon for them, as well as the overclock nearly there for leave.
Low HP, look.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody's just getting wrecked. Irony's dead, so the healing's cut down significantly. Shine Alpha E still hovering around half HP. Now 0.
It's a free
Shy
fight.
will get headshot by Leave. Great cleanup. Alpha E managing to find one, though. Now they're going to look to turn the fight. The sound barrier going to be committed into this from Super Rich. He pulls the trigger on it. Nisha going to be matching. Leave does find Gushue. The front line's going to be broken down. Have the Spark overstep the blade. Even going to be pulled by Alfie. He gets on top of Jinmu. Finds the kill, but he's so much more than that. But Leave, he says no. Gets the rail headshot through. And Alfie's out of the fight. They still will get a single tick here. Moving up towards a second as they wait for the rest of the squad to go ahead and rejoin. But the Hunters can absolutely recontest this. The overclock comes in. They get the shot across. Irony dead. Super Rich on the high ground trying to escape. Gushue just now rejoining, but they know that they're locked off at the back at this point. A minute and 45 remaining. The Hangzhou Spark, they cannot afford to have any other stackers. It looks like Super Rich will stay alive for now, but it's going to be Shy, who just now rejoins into the fight, then instantly gets cut down.
And there's more members to fall as well. They just can't quite escape anymore. Seems like Alpha E is going to be stuck here as well. Super Rich and Irony and all the rest. Irony at least gets one on the way out, but it is a major string of kills for the Chengdu Hunters. Credit to Spark to at least get that one tick in. I think quite, you know, a lot of confidence being shown that they would pull the beat, use the sound barrier from Super Rich in what was looking like a lost fight, and then get a couple frags via Gushue and Alpha E. Both the Genji blades eventually shut down. And they get one tick off the back of that. But Hunters, they reconsolidate, the re-entry via the overclock from Leave, and it's enough. Not a lot of time now. I can imagine this should be very expensive for the Hangzhou Spark to cap, if they can even cap.
Things looking a bit more dire. Ults abound from either side. They get the Rampage across. That one crucially connects on to Gaga. They're able to find the kill. Jinmu as well going to be bled down by the Rampage ult. Axe through Gushue. The team on his back with that ultimate. And it's just enough for them to be able to get over the finish line, but it's not going to be with that much time. The Chengdu Hunters can absolutely chew through this time bank.
And importantly, because Gaga doesn't use the Rampage, they'll be to use that on B. I think if you wanted to hold A and go for this full hold, you can't be the second Junker Queen to go for that Rampage. We talked about this on the previous week of games as well. Gaga, once he got hit by Gushue there, he was already below half HP. If he goes for his Rampage, probably dies. Likely to be a low-value Rampage as well, and he'll die afterwards anyway, so they'll just give it up. They understand that the time is over. They'll at least have leave the timer down at A to minimal. So at about now, 2:30, that's the maximum allotted time that you would get after capping A. And as I mentioned, for Spark, it was going to have to be expensive. They spent everything.
Great little boop there. I believe it was Nisha setting it up. Shy over pursuing to try to get a punish there on the Jinmu. Nisha says nope. Boops him forward into the enemy squad. They find the kill. We're going to be taken down to the back end. And that's going to be cart and archway control completely in the hands of the Chengdu Hunters. And when you're trying to breach this position out of your spawn, it can be so difficult to try to get out of here. Work it out.
Jim is going to go for the chase,
they want to win this.
potentially into Alpha E as well. And this is a much more, I think, doable position to go for a spawn camp if you were going to go for one onto A. On the A spawn, much harder here. Workable. Stuff like that as well. Leave onto Shy that just puts a lid on the Spark. The Spark ideally need to wait for 5 here. Alpha E, I believe, has already used his dash.
He has. He's just doing well to deny line of sight here from Lee, but now the blade's going to be pulled and Lee. He pops the overclock and instantly shuts him down. No value to be found. Gets Shy as well. Shy is just consistently living in this spawn room right now. This is his new home. Leave has locked the doors.
Everybody.
He's on house arrest.
All the Spark. They can't leave. I mean, even with the blade, you typically would be able to get out of spawn with stuff like a blade. Alpha, you get some value. He probably thought he had the kill on the Jinmu, but didn't account for the fact that Lee would just snipe him. Sound barrier's going to have to be burnt here, but Gaga's waiting. He's waiting to see if the sound barrier will be used.
And now it's Jinmu's blade. And Chengdu is just going to slice and dice his way to 3 quick kills. He's looking for a 4th, won't get it. Will sheath the blade, but his job here is done. Monk, the only casualty. Does have a bit of a run back here for him, so you can see the Hunters playing back through the archway. They will concede a bit of space. Yeah. Oh, it's all the way back.
Basically, at the start, like it's made 0 movement, as you'd expect, and time is below a minute now. So for the Hangzhou Spark, yeah, okay, they don't have to finish the map. They just got to get to the end of B. That seems like it's easier said than done now. The time remaining is just not good. They don't have the ultimates. They already lost a blade. They have double support ultimates, which is good because you need something to block out Gaga's rampage. And Chengdu Hunters have this opening high ground as well. As I explained earlier, you know, for the attacking team, it's hard because you have to fight for map control and be able to affect the payload.
This rampage is everything, as well as the support ultimates respond from the Spark. Sound barrier and the rally, both there for them. It's Gaga.
Elevator.
Spotting them all. They're going to go ahead. They're going to try to contest this high ground. Massive boop comes in. They knock them all right back down. 10 seconds remaining. The cart touched for now. The rampage goes across. Manages to find 4, but Shy pops the rail, finds Nisha off the rip. The rally now rolling from Monk, just trying to keep everybody else alive. Jinmu down to a sliver of HP. They chase forward. The overtime going to be forced out. They're holding the cart for now. Irony matching with a rally of his own. Shy tries to stay alive. A great headshot flies in. He gets Monk. They get Gaga, and suddenly this could just be in their hands. They may just be able to win this one out. The rampage goes across. It finds the remaining members. Leave, tries to stay alive, and nobody else can touch, and where it looks so damn good. The Chengdu Hunters just cannot keep it contested. One final fight from the Spark is all that they need. They manage to breach the defenses, and they push all the way through to the end. They get the win. They tie it up 1-1.
Yeah, what a brilliant defense against the rampage coming through from Gaga is all when I say defense. It's the attacking team kind of defending against the pressure, right? It was not a very good attack overall for the Hangzhou Spark, given how long they were sort of stuck in the spawn on B as well, how long it took them to even cap A. I believe, you know, almost the entire 4 minutes needed to be expended. They had maybe 1 minute worth of good pushing. Remember that last minute, the payload wasn't even past the opening gates of B yet. So they had to make the entire distance in under 1 minute while trying to go for someplace high ground, being booped off. And then that allowed Gaga to go for the sick rampage. Because Spark had double support ultimates, they layered them, survived the rampage, and ended up in a pretty good situation to get a fight going. The snipe from Shy onto Monk as well setting the stage, and the rest of the Hunters easy pickings for the Spark after that. So great recovery. That was insane.
I mean, so many trip-ups from both teams, so many overextensions and just crazy shutdown on ultimates. I love the chaos that these teams are very much just living in right now. A wild back and forth, but it is tied up 1-1, which is what we want to see. We have a series now, no 3-0s for either squad. We'll see who can take the lead, though, as we get ready to move over to Circuit Royale. It's coming up in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. Alrighty, and we're back and tied up 1-1. It's been complete and utter chaos between these two squads so far, but I'm living for it. I'm enjoying it. It can be a little bit hectic to try to keep up with everything that's going on, as well as some of the decisions that are being made by the teams. But
it's just the Chengdu zone
series.
This is normal Chengdu zone stuff.
True, it's very true. But
yeah,
you
follow the Chengdu Hunters. It's like this is the most normal Chengdu game I've ever watched.
Well, Hangzhou Spark seem very well suited to be playing in the Chengdu zone right now. They're keeping pace. They're making just as wild decisions and committing ults in moments that I didn't think were going to, either work out or where it was just like, that's such a bad idea, and then they get punished for it. Either way, it's been an absolute treat to watch, and the good news is that because we're tied up 1-1, it means that we at least have 2 more maps to be played. Circuit Royale is coming up next. We'll see how these squads fare moving up to the old sniper map.
I respect that some players are keen to make hero plays happen. No, they don't always work out, but when they do, it's amazing. It's how you make top 5 of the week, by the way, as well, for the players that are trying to do that. No, I think they're definitely trying to win, obviously, but sometimes, with the Alpha E Blade trying to get us spawn, you need to make plays like that happen, because that's how you beat the spawn camps. You have ultimates that you can play through. You just need to get 1 kill. You don't even need to get more than 1 kill. Just a 1 kill forces the spawn camping team to retreat and go back to their normal positions, such that it allows your team to get out. So, I wouldn't even call it a high-risk play. That's just a standard lineup play in the flowchart that is required, but credit to Chengdu Hunters for shutting stuff like that down, and I think both teams have had great shutdowns. Jinmu's lost a couple of blades. Alpha's had at least 1 shutdown there as well. Shy and Leave have been sniping each other. I'm just thankful we haven't had a single Ajax yet, which is great. Both Nisha and Super Rich have had their sound barriers actually pop off and get the required value. I'm pretty sure both the Brigidas have had rallies mostly get the duration as well. Yeah, so if anything, at least on the other players have been fairly clean. I don't think the rampages have missed so far. We've seen some really sad rampages across our previous games, including one from Gaga versus, I think, Seoul. So those have been okay.
Yeah, it's just been the blades, and I think 1 overclock from Leave that's gotten shut out, and widely that's about it. So the DPS players, the only ones that have really been getting punished. Like you said, no Ajaxes. No, I think it's a bit of a mouthful, but anger management is what I was pitching for a shutdown on the Rampage. But it's been just crazy to see, and it feels like, you talked about these guys going for these hero plays. It's like flipping a coin and saying, which kind of Marvel movie are you going to get? Are you going to get like a run-of-the-mill one where the guy does the hero play and he saves the day and everybody goes home happy and it's like really cookie cutter? Or is it the James Gunn version where like you try to make the hero play and then you just get your head blown off and everything is terrible for your team? That's just kind of been the coin flip scenario that we've been seeing when these ults are getting popped.
Is it Infinity War? Or is it not Infinity War?
I was going to say Suicide Squad, but that's
sorry,
not
actually,
one, I suppose.
Is it Age of Ultron or is it not Age of Ultron? Where they lose spoilers, but you've had several years to watch that movie. Yeah, I don't know. I actually think it's testament to the player skill. You have the mechanical ability to trust that you can pop off, but the opposite is true, where the other team also has the mechanical ability to shut you down, and both has been true so far for both teams in equal measure. As we head over to Circuit Royale, see who takes the firm lead here. It's been a 2-1 scoreline on both of the maps so far. Didn't see the C point of Hollywood, and I have to say as well, despite Spark not having a lot of time to capture B, you have to remember that their defense on B was good enough that they didn't allow the Chengdu Hunters to get a very far distance either. So it's been both successful and difficult for both teams, and if anything, I'm just glad it's a close game, because again, the history of these two teams so far this stage has been 3-0s across the board, whether it's winning or losing.
Yeah. Well, not today. See, though, looks like Shy at least is just going to go for the opening shot with the Widowmaker, see if he can find anything, and then they can just go ahead and swap it up. Or, I mean, could just stick with this. No. Okay. It's going to be Sojourn.
We have seen, I think Ash is like reasonable here, but when you have players like Shy who are just so good on Sojourn, there's just no point. I think you just stay on what you're good at, stay on what you've been pounding on, like your hero, specifically his signature. Spawn camping here is pretty normal as well, but with Monk being dead, it's going to be Spark taking it.
Yeah. 2 quick early kills. Gaga, not much else to happen here. Gushue not going to get the taste of the kill. It does get stolen away by Alfie at the very last second, but quick and easy break out of the spawn. Chengdu Hunters retreating back. See if they can recontest.
Yeah, there will be. They'll have plenty of fights. You can see the payload zone just moving around the first corner now. It's also a solo push from the Hangzhou Spark. I think they're trying to take some forward ground. I would maybe think about a 2- or 3-man push here because, you know, you are going to have to fight around this shop, this little hairpin anyway. So to me, there's not a lot of point to shoving 4 members forward when the thing you need to focus on is maximizing payload distance. Failing the opening spawn camp from Hunters or any team is not unexpected. Most teams do spawn camp there and eventually you do fail. This will be a pretty important fight though.
The one thing I do enjoy about the meta, at least on this map, is that you do just play in front of the spawn doors off the rip and you hope for the best. Kind of feels like, was it old...
like Havana. Havana Goats.
Oh, like Havana, old Rialto back in the, you know, like World Cup Korea when you had like the moving tower meta with Symmetra and Bastion and whatnot. It's good to see that kind of play come back in. There's a little bit of a difference, but Irony taken down. Monk now given an opportunity to try to catch up, but his team's not taking too much damage, and no one's really within flail range, so he won't get too much ult charge.
As we're waiting, one of my favorite things about Havana, rip Havana on the map, is that even in a non-Goats meta, you would still play a potentially Goats-type composition, a brawl at spawn, just to go for the spawn camp. I think it's a very cool thing about that sort of map, but, you know, went to neutral number 3 now. It's right, 3 neutrals, and actually, no, there will finally be an ultimate available if Irony can live.
Well, the shout comes off cooldown. Gushwei pops it. He'll be able to stay alive for now. Blade's going to be pulled by both of the Genjis, and it's going to be Alpha Yi who falls. Nisha able to get him, just left click to the head. Finds him in the end. Jinmu won't be able to get too much done with his own blade, but crucially does stay alive. That's the name of the game right now. Rampage available. Does he want to even use it here? Everybody was corralled together, but with Irony going down as Nisha finds both of the kills in the fight, yeah, he can just go ahead and hold that ult for another day.
Yeah, you want to be really a little bit more stingy with the ultimates here on the defense if you can. Late kill from Level Shy is brilliant. That's just as Alpha Yi comes back in to join the squad. It's another day.
And it lets them push forward. It lets them push forward once more. Now with Gushwei, they can just continue. Yeah, they can just continue to advance forward. Just steadily chipping away at the ranks of the Hangzhou Spark. One kill after the other. The time dwindling down. Just 1 minute and 14 seconds now remaining.
The only reason they didn't go for the spawn camp there is because a lot of members were on half HP, but if Hunters were healthier, they had the 5v4, they could have gone for more kills, and they could have pushed towards spawn and just re-engaged into the spawn camp, and it would have forced the Spark to burn ultimates there. And if you do lose that fight as Hunters, but you do force the Spark to burn ultimates, that's ultimately a win economically, because you are guaranteed another fight at the end of A anyway, which we're about to get now. So this one's going to be bloody, because we have 6 ultimates online. Nisha's about to get the sound barrier as well. It's going to have to be Gaga that starts things off, I think. No, Nisha going lower and lower.
Rally rolling. Nisha still under fire, but still holding on to that sound barrier. Doesn't want to pop it yet, but now with the overclock coming through for Shy, he'll go ahead and pull the trigger. Drops the beat. Anti out onto 2 from that Rampage. It's going to be Shy taken down first and foremost. Again, Leave just managing to find him. 24 seconds remaining. They're still pursuing forward, looking for the kills. Gushwei falling low. If he dies, oh yeah, it's going to be a catastrophe. Yet another blade pulled by Jinmu, just lapping Alpha Yi at this point. Chases all the way up onto the spawn doors, and Shy is just out in the middle of nowhere. Gets taken down, and I don't even know if anyone can touch. Super Rich, the only one who really would be able to do it somewhat safely, is dead. He's just now respawning. Alpha Yi trying to get there, drops down, will get the touch, but he's not going to be able to stay alive. Nisha finds the kill. Beat drop just to try to get back over the cart, and they can't even touch it. From breaking through immediately, the Hangzhou Spark, it seemed like they had the wind in their sails, but boy, what a shutdown from the Chengdu Hunters. They let them get just around that corner, and then they completely stopped them in their tracks.
It's a shutdown on multiple levels, and I think for me it really starts from the kill onto Alpha Yi. It was a final blow from Nisha. I'm sure there was more damage committed in by other members to allow Nisha to get the final blow.
Yeah, he took a rail shot,
Jinmu gets a blade off. Jinmu didn't even really get kills on the blade. He just got some damage off, forced Hangzhou Spark back, but Alpha Yi got immediately shut down on his blade. This is, by the way, the first map in the series where I believe Levers really had Shy's number, at least so far halfway through. We'll see if that remains true for the second half, because on the first 2 maps, Shy and Leave were either going even, or in the case of Nepal, I felt like Shy easily had Leave some numbers. So now Leave is starting to take a bit more control in that specific matchup instead of just getting fragged by Shy. He is the one putting Shy into the bin instead. And Jinmu struggled. Jinmu's been struggling in the first 2 maps so far. He didn't really play that much Genji to start with on Nepal, played a lot of Genji on Hollywood, not to great success, and now this time it's Alpha Yi that's struggling, and Jinmu getting that success, but it might be potential for, you know, a defensive side advantage for Jinmu to do that. Hunters, you know, very easy, I think, to recover from a position of... Just want to hear the song first.
He was playing Fura Xhaka before.
Anyway, from a position of spawn camping, so they lose a spawn camp, but then they recover partway through on the hairpin, as you'd expect. So that's why spawn camping is very low risk here, and a lot of teams would go for it.
All right, well, a little bit more pulled back is the Hangzhou Spark right up on the spawn doors, taking this a little bit more cautiously, but Irony still going to get dropped first. They find the kill. They're looking for a little bit more. Gaga down to a sliver. Alfie does chase in, gets that kill. The rail shot from Shy. Not going to connect as they try to keep him alive. Jinmu will go ahead, dash in, gets that elimination. Now Gushui gone. Chengdu Hunters have an opportunity to potentially continue to turn this one. Oh, there's the deflect. Jinmu sending those projectiles right into Alfie's back. And they will go ahead, break through. Now get onto the cart.
I mean, that's a notably better spawn camp than what Hunters did. I think Hunters, they had Monk die straight away, and then the rest of it just was over for the spawn camp. Here, at least, Spark will be able to get some counter frags. And this, you see the double push coming through from the Hunters as well, so they're going to get a little bit of extra payload movement. Like I said, you don't need the 4 pushing up. I think 3 is fine. Even 2 is maybe okay. One more fight to actually win this, but a neutral it is. Both teams are going to have to kind of work through what they have, and what they have is not a lot as far as ult charge goes. Probably going to have to take another fight to get there, or if Hunters just win one more fight in the neutral, they will just get a 2-1 lead in this scoreline.
I mean, the cart is already basically there. This is where it had rolled back to. Continuing advance once more. Alfie trying to build up for the blade. 11% left to go. Just narrowly gets himself ahead of Jinmu in that regard.
Slow though.
Far behind. Good to see the double pull.
Oh
Super
my
Rich
goodness.
taken down. A railed headshot from Leave. Snipes him out. That's going to be the beat. Now gone. Gushui taken down. Blade in desperation going to be pulled by Alpha Yi. He does find 2 kills. Jinmu answering back. Finds a couple eliminations. Just trying to keep them in this fight, but as soon as the blade is sheathed, Alpha Yi gets melted down, and with the cleanup onto Irony, that should be it. What a play. Leave just absolutely dominating the blade to chase in. Looks for Super Rich. Will get him as the cart glides in. It's a very swift map here of Circuit Royale as the Chengdu Hunters answer back, trading blows against the Spark. Now in the lead, 2-1.
And how many opening frags and first bloods does Lee find over the course of the map on attack and defense? He is just such a high-pressure player on Circuit Royale. I don't think he was necessarily doing a great job on Nepal. Started to warm up quite a bit on Hollywood. We saw the frags coming on through, but now on Circuit Royale, 3 maps deep into the series, Leave has hit the on button. He is revving up to his 5th gear, and off the back of those plays, I mean, just the snipe onto Super Rich is exactly the tone that Chengdu Hunters can set to claim that map. 2 fights required, 2 fights won, an instant cap, and now at match point.
Yep. And I mean, we saw it on our screens, the play of the game, somewhat rightfully so, going over to Nisha, just shutting down that blade from Alpha Yi when they were on the defense. So even the game giving him a nice little shout out, because yeah, it was a pivotal moment in that defense to lock the cart in place. Now Chengdu Hunters with the lead. Hangzhou Spark need to win as we get ready to go over to push to extend this into a 5th and final map. It's 5-map Friday. Can they make it happen? We're going to find out in just a few. And we are back. 2-1 the scoreline right now as the Chengdu Hunters have taken the lead after a very concise victory on Circuit Royale. Now we turn our sights over to Colosseo to see whether or not the Hangzhou Spark can extend this into a 5th and final map, or if it will all come to a close right here, right now.
It seems like they have the capability to, respect for, we had this entire discussion about like the hero players coming on through from certain players. Alfie tried. He really tried at the end there. The double kill from the Blade. Just needed a little bit more support there. If more players at Spark were still alive, if somebody else could have maybe gotten a kill there as well to keep the numbers even. But Spark, they got pressured down by the capability of Leave on that Sojin, who, as I mentioned, a bit quiet at the start of the series, but the deeper we go, the better he's gotten, to the point now where he's outperforming Shy, who had his number early on. And Spark, that was, definitely a map that you should be concerned about. I think for Hollywood, it was a great comeback. It was looking maybe a bit concerning in the attack. On Nepal as well, we can talk about the fact that they did C9 Shrine. It was an opportunity I think they could have probably have won. But Circuit was all Chengdu Hunters. Nothing much to say there for the Spark.
Yeah, it just has been getting better and better as time goes on. Like a full course meal here is Leaf's performance, I guess. And now we're maybe getting into the dessert. Started off with some appetizers.
With some gelati?
Yeah, these are pretty good. And then we just started going deeper into the meal. The next course comes out. You're like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Is this the dessert? This right here?
It could very well be. I'll have to just wait and see how he fares. I believe this was it not the Chengdu Hunters on Colosseo that gave us like one of the first overtime like miracle recoveries? Because my brain is saying it was Chengdu Hunters on this map. Granted, yes, very different metas, but I feel like from memory, Colosseo has always been rather kind to them. We'll have to see if that continues.
I'm not too sure. I know some of the best comebacks on Colosseo or any push map was Gladiators doing that twice. I think it was last stage as well. I'm really struggling to remember if Chengdu have done it. But it does seem like a very Chengdu zone kind of thing, so it wouldn't surprise me. If Chengdu just win here, I mean, they get the victory 3-1, and Spark are down 0-3 to start out the Summer Showdown. And even with Alpha E, that would be a very unfortunate way to go for the stage.
Yeah, certainly would. Because, I mean, we were talking about, them having their toughest opponents right up front with those first two series. Chengdu Hunters can kick them down a notch as well. It's not going to be looking good for the Spark. Let's see what happens, though, as Jinmu pursues very deep here onto Alpha E. Both of them having plenty of peel, plenty of support coming through. The bot for now,
Gaga
gaining 0.14 meters. What a lead.
Yeah, Gaga ends up being the first frag, so we don't have to take 2 minutes to find a frag here. Under 1 minute even. Hunters should probably end up falling now with all 4 members on low HP. Major cleanup. Yep. I don't even know if Hunters will get a single frag.
Right now, it's not looking like it unless Leaf can just dome somebody, but everybody pulls back away. The bot going to be advancing forward. And yep, that singular kill comes in. The Hangzhou Spark, they take a firm grip on the fight, and they manage to win it out cleanly.
And Alfie is about to get this Blade timing as well, where he is very far ahead of everybody else, but with Leaf just sniping down Shy. It's a continuation of Circuit Royale. That's the opportunity for the Hunters.
It absolutely is a massive one. Shout going to be used. Gushwait's still trying to play up here into the front lines, but there's just nowhere near the amount of healing throughput that you need. And I mean, you can see Irony was like, I'm not even going to try to keep you alive. He'd already retreated all the way back across over the bridge.
That's really unfortunate for Hunters. They were on, for Spark, given that they were on a potential snowball path with Alpha getting a very quick Blade well ahead of Nisha and Monk and well ahead of Jinmu as well, his counterpart. That would have been an opportunity for Spark to get 40, 50, 60 meters, maybe pressuring the cap. But a single snipe brings Hunters back in. He goes Alpha now.
I was going to say, Blade v. Blade. Jinmu now popping his own right as it became available. Alfie going to be zoned back at the front of the initial kill here onto Gaga. Is that enough for them to play off of? Jinmu's Blade now also expiring. You can see the DPS kind of trying to set their sights over onto the supports of the side of the Hunters, but it's going to be Jinmu who comes up with 2 quick kills. Gushwait and Irony both now going to be taken down. Spirit's still alive in this fight. Just hold on to the beach if he wants to really commit in for it. Looks like Leaf just going to be getting zoned back, and Hunters will go ahead and concede the fight.
It's both the Genjis. Both the Genjis got all the frags there. They both go for each other, the Blades as well, matching Blades, and they looked at the other potential members they could dash into. Alfie's like, no, I'm going for Jinmu. Jinmu wants to go for Alpha Yi. They both don't really get too much and leave. Looking for quite a bit here. Does land on the Gushwait, who could be in trouble.
And tag him down. Nice little headshot coming through. play into the grenade. Shout going to be used. Overclock now going to be matched here by Shy. Flops that one. The beat comes in. Yeah, that was so close to being whiffed, but manages to hit the floor. Overclock now going to be expiring here relatively soon, and it's not going to be any kills found, so still a fairly neutral fight. Sound barrier still held. The Rampage nearly available. Gushway trying to get that one online. Shy with a great headshot. Will take down Gaga. Just for a little bit more now. Leave falling into the Hangzhou Spark. Should have a window of opportunity to try to regain the lead here for themselves. They just have to clear them off the card. Nisha going to find one. A little bit of a parting gift there as Irony will fall, but the Spark do manage to persevere, and they don't have to commit any further ultimates to the fight to win it.
Yeah. A couple of final blows there found by Super Rich as well, and importantly, we have some stagger kills with Nisha only respawning now. That gives opportunity for Irony to be taxied back in for a 5v5, because otherwise that one death from Irony does cost a lot for the Hangzhou Spark, given that they wouldn't have been able to get much payload push. And even now, with Irony back into action, Hunter's just waiting for this 5v5 engage, so no flip found by the Spark just yet. They do need to win another fight before they're in position to start getting some mileage.
The bot now just going to be held in place. Starts moving forward again.
Rampage
Up the Spark. They look to hold it. Leaf slides away. Keeps himself alive. Rampage, as you say, still being held. Gushway waiting for the moment. Go ahead and pop it.
Might be played first, depending on spacing.
Yeah, it looks like it is. Alfie leading the charge. Pops that one. Gaga going to be the first one to fall. Shy finding the kill. And I mean, Alfie is really just causing chaos with his blade. He himself not finding that much individual impact. Does get a nice kill here on the back end, but it just makes the members of the Chengdu Hunters scatter in fear away from the blade, and everybody else just gets picked off one after the other by the other members of the Spark. So really nicely done on there on the fight, and that's the only thing they had to commit to it. It's the Rampage, and the beat still held.
Yeah, he's just playing his limits so well there as well, understanding how far he can go. This cap looks like it's about to come on through as well. You need to see a touch coming on in.
They instantly get the pushback. The Rampage comes across. Flips on the two. Nisha going to be bled down. Rail shot from Shy will go ahead and finish the job.
Checkpoint.
Blade not going to find much. Great zoning back, and like you said, the checkpoint now going to be gained. Gushway pulls back around the corner, 66 HP. Now going to be top back up here by the supports, as Irony nearly has a rally to try to match here. Monk falling low after he pops his own. He's going to be safe for the time being. Shy goes sliding away, but the bot is still going to be advancing with the Spark.
Backing out, actually. Spark have given that one up. They don't want to be feeding extra members away. They believe they lost some positioning there. Just resetting for a clean neutral, so they get to take another very quick fight before the payload's even reaching halfway through the concourse in mid. So for the Spark, I mean, conservative, but I think, you know, the safety will potentially pay off here. 73 meters to 36 is a great lead. Skarga's turn to go for a very big Rampage here. Irony doesn't quite have the response.
Shy dead. Now the overclock available from Leave as well. Decides to use it, but with the kills coming in, certainly doesn't need to. Cleanup is going to be there. A little bit of time here on their side for the Spark, given that they do have that checkpoint locked in for themselves. We'll see how the recontest looks and whether or not the Chengdu Hunters will be able to win this follow-up fight, because right now the ult, it's definitely in their favor.
Yeah, they have majorly favored. They have to win. I think definitely one very good fight here where they have members alive to go for this push. Given that they didn't have to spend any ultimates on the previous neutral, it's a pretty big opening for them, and now Leave is carving up.
That he is. Gets another one. The DPS now going to be taken out. Leave doing wonders here for the side of the Hunters, is yet again just playing right out in front of the spawn room doors. In the meantime, in all of this chaos, they've been playing this 4v5 because that bot has been pushing consistently. Now it makes it to the checkpoint, and now the Spark have to start sweating.
It has to be the flip coming on through, but it's going to be a big Rampage, just the one. Catching with Irony.
Only finds one. The rally is rolling. Gushway does get the punish. Gaga now going to be taken out. Irony just trying to keep everybody else alive. And the bot still moving forward. Yeah, the flip is there. They have the forward spawns. They have the control. They're still gaining distance. The cleanup is here for the side of the Spark, but overall for the Chengdu Hunters, this is still not a bad thing by any means if they could just continue to skirmish and keep the bot locked in neutral territories.
As the time goes though, that's all that matters. You have to get these flips, and we saw how important that was in the Gladiator series not that long ago, where Shock managed to find that flip on the payload in the final, like, I think 30 seconds to 1 minute, and that changes the entire game. So the fact that Chengdu lose that fight, they get very aggressive with the Rampage into spawn, which means you're pulling attention back over towards spawn.
Jinmu, low, Alfie gets on top of him. His blade comes up a bit better. Overclock as well was layered into that one. The single kill is all that they need to be convinced to go ahead and back away. So the Chengdu Hunters, they head for the hills. They know that they cannot suffer any more casualties. Leave narrowly escaping. Shy not quite connecting with that shot. Otherwise, that would have been Nisha's life.
If he does connect with that shot, that would be Hunters potentially losing his positioning as well. The flip is very close now. This fight could determine it. Super is dead at 99.
Oh my god, it's just going to be an absolute massacre. They just pile in on top of them. One fell swoop, they make the call, they all jump in. And it's an absolute slaughter. As 3 members take it out, Alpha Yi, not very long for the world here.
Is Stagger?
He's going to try to escape.
Maybe?
He's trying to make his way out. He's got a sliver of HP remaining. Nisha just trying to connect, and Chengdu will get on top of him. The stagger is massive. The bot now moving back yet again, control of the Hunters.
If that just means Spark can't push up, they don't have the 5v5, they have to wait for Alpha Yi to come back in. The payload moving to the other side of the map. Every single bit of payload movement here is something that Spark has to get back in their own regard when they want to fight, and it just costs them way too much time. Leave with another snipe. It's another first blood.
They're gaining distance. Not only are they just keeping the bot over towards the Spark side of the map, but they're actually gaining off the back of this. Alpha Yi starts things off the right foot forward though. Does find Monk. Heavily escorted by that shielding, but Nisha gets on top of Irony, cuts him down. The cleanup will be coming through. Alpha Yi doing his damnedest to keep them in this map, but now with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining, can they actually retake this?
They got one good shot. I think it's possible, just given the fact that it is only, what, you know, 13 meters?
13.
Which is very pushable, but they have to kind of do it flawlessly, where they're going to have to win a fight here off the back of a rampage. Maybe Irony has to pop an ult here as well, and then ideally hold on to one more ult to get the final push going.
They're playing into the rally, and the sound barrier is nearly there from Nisha as well. The overclock is already enough to keep them at arm's length, and Alpha Yi gets his head taken off. Leaves, delivers once more. Now he's sliding forward aggressively. Shy's going to be taken down. Irony out of the fight. The reset needs to happen right here, right now for the side of the Spark. Like you said, it's going to have to be complete and utter perfection, because Gushwei, he pops a rampage, and they don't get a damn thing forward in the fight.
And the overtime's going to come in now. In fact, maybe Chengdu can even sneak a couple extra meters. Every meter counts here. They can get above 90. Spark are not in position to do anything about this. And that 13-meter gap extends to 20 now. Every single meter just becomes so much more difficult. And leave with another first blood. This could just be it.
It's got to be over from here, you would think. Jinmu does get shut down. It's a great little shield bash to come in. Lee finds Gushwei. Frontline broken. The rally rolling. Somebody needs to touch the bot. They finally get it at the very last second. The overtime touch is there. Super Rich trying to escort this one away. Alpha Yi in desperation pulls the blade, but he's not going to find anything except for death. Monk will clean up the last few kills. Super Rich just cannot survive. He cannot continue to play this position. He will end up falling, and no one else can touch. The Rampage and Celebration will deliver them the victory. The Chengdu Hunters once more close out on Colosseo, and they take the series 3-1.
An unbelievable finish there for the Chengdu Hunters. We talked about Lee firing up, and you said it, saving the best for last year. The dessert tastes the sweetest for the Chengdu Hunters. Unbelievable performance. I mean, Shy had Leave's number early on, but it was all Leave by the time we got the Colosseo. It was multiple fights in a row, Kalios, where he gets this opening frag that sets the entire stage for all that is to transpire afterwards. Hunters is the real deal in this meta, and they look like at least the third best team in the region currently, with Spark sliding down that rankings as their record for Summer Showdown now becomes 0-3.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, this very much makes us start questioning, you know, the performance versus the Dynasty and how that all went, because it seems like it was very much just an off day, nothing to do with the Hunters' actual form in this meta. I think if we replay that again, it absolutely could be a significantly closer series. But damn, what a play from them. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into our player of the match. And of course is going to be Leaf, given his performance. Like you said, started off a little rocky, but by the time we got to the end, he had absolutely ramped up into just an unstoppable force.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to rev up the engine, get it going, crank it up if it's an old school vehicle. But once that thing starts running down the highway, it becomes a bit of a monster truck, just flattening the Hangzhou Spark. And I think really it showed itself in full force. We've got Circuit Royale full hold into a 2-fight victory here, all in one attempt, by the way. No reset for the Chengdu Hunters whatsoever. Leave destroying the oppositions here with some amazing shots coming on through, but that did not end at all as we got the Colosseo. The ending meterage was, I think, 101, 102 for the Chengdu Hunters, and every single time the Hangzhou Spark wanted to push, wanted to try and flip things over, Leaf said no. He got the opening first blood, which entirely sets the stage for the fight. 5v4 means so much in this Junker Queen, Junker Goats meta, right? So when Leaf can do that consistently, and over guys like Shy, by the way. Shy was, I think, the primary target of Leaf multiple times. Spark, what do you do about that? You really can't do much in response unless you can get your own counter trade. But if Shy is the one that is dying, I mean, your best chance of getting a counter trade is mostly gone, and you can really even see it from Alpha Yi's perspective, where like he knows the pressure's on him to try and pull the blade, do something crazy. But if he doesn't have the teammates around him to back that up, there's only so much Alpha Yi can do, and Leave was just simply too good to beat today.
I mean, you're talking about the counter trades, but again, you think about that, not the last fight, but one of those last fights where the Chengdu Hunters really established that massive distance. They regained control of the bot and were shipping it over towards the Spark spawn room. They were playing that out 4v5 the entire time. They managed to get that push through. They didn't have one of their supports with them, and they were still managing to crush. It was just impeccable play from them the whole way throughout. We got plenty more praises to sing, though, so we're going to go to a quick little break. When we come back, we'll have our game break, talk a bit more about this series, what it means for the Hunters and their standings overall, and then we'll get teed up for our second series of the night. That's the Valiant versus the Dynasty. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
And we are back. A 3-1 victory there for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, who have looked so much better. I mean, I think I said this literally at the end of their series versus the Dynasty, that it was impossible for them to look at the same level or worse than what we had seen from them in that opening match here of the Jotes meta. But clearly, it was just a day to just kind of, to be shaken off, because right now they are looking great.
And, I'm glad we kind of start the replays with the Shrine on Nepal as well, because now you do start entering the question mark of like, well, what happens here if they actually win this round? And well, if they win this round, they win the entire map, don't they? Because I got Sanctum as well. Then we'd actually go to map 5, and then in map 5, I mean, who knows what happens? You know, maybe Leave just doesn't care and wins map 5 anyway, and the Hunters would have reverse swept, but you know, we never really get to into that multiverse, given, you know, that's not the world we live in, where instead it's a 3-in-1, and Hunters truly, in my opinion now, look at minimum to be number 3 in the region, behind Seoul and Shanghai, yet to be determined who is number 1 out of those two, as they still haven't played yet. But it is such a strange dichotomy, because you look at how good they are now, but then you also look at them getting destroyed by Seoul in the week 1, and it's hard to link up those two events together. You sort of mentioned, Seth, that maybe it was just a bad day for the Chengdu Hunters, but I'm glad that since that moment they've come alive in big ways.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and I think we kind of have to just excuse it as that, you know, now, because even in that series, like, Leaf was not hitting his shots, Jinmu was not really being able to play the game whatsoever. It just looked completely and utterly disjointed from the side of the Hunters, so I think that was maybe just, I don't want to call it jitters, because everybody at this point is enough of a veteran to not really suffer from that, but just that first series blues, I suppose, coming into a new stage, a new meta. And now that is out of the way, they've gotten through that loss, they have just been looking cleaner and cleaner as time has gone on. So not quite the 3-0 that they would have been looking to get, you know, to match alongside the one that they took from Fusion, but still very consistent play from them. Everybody having their moments. I mean, the shutdowns coming through from Nisha, just fantastic blades from Jinmu. And then Leave just pounding. So it seems like Chengdu is back.
Yeah.
They're back on the menu, and they right now are looking like the 3rd best team in the region. Whether or not they're going to be able to challenge to break into those upper echelons, we'll just have to wait and see. But one of the teams that they will have to get through if they want to do that is going to be coming up next. The Seoul Dynasty, currently our #1 team here in APAC, continuing to look great. See how they fare versus the Valiant, though, who are always a bit of a wild card, I guess we would say. I finally did it. We finally did it. The slip came through, but there you go. The LA Valley. We'll see how they fare. Yeah, anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead. We'll throw to a break, and when we come back, we'll jump into that second series. Oh, took 2 years, but here we are.